Hey everybody, happy Friday. I hope your 2026 is off to an awesome start. Thanks for viewing the demo this week. Um, the focus this week for me was something a little bit different, and what I'm going to show you is using AI for go-to-market decisioning. Um, the idea here is that a lot of AI tools, they show what they can create. In this case, I want to show how AI can help go-to-market teams decide what to do next. And so just to frame the challenge or the problem here, go-to-market is really all about making decisions. It's a decision system when it's done well. And every week, go-to-market teams are making trade-offs across marketing, growth, sales, RevOps, etc. And so they have lots and lots of ideas. These ideas often are competing, and the teams themselves have different priorities. That Go-to-market teams often have way too many tools available to them. They have, as a result, fragmented data, lots and lots of data, but it's fragmented. And what they don't have is shared judgment. So instead of building another content generator or something like a CRM copilot, I decided to ask a different question this week. And the question is, what would it look like to build AI that thinks like a go-to-market leader? And so the concept here, pretty simple and straightforward. This is an AI go-to-market strategist. It's going to take lightweight context about a company and then produce a credible 1 week go-to-market plan. It doesn't require integrations. It doesn't require perfect data. It just needs enough context to reason under real constraints. And so, in terms of the context and the inputs into the system, again, pretty simple. And these are all things that are readily available to every go-to-market team. It's going to ask what stage, where's your company at in its journey. It's going to ask about the ideal customer profile, who you're targeting, what are your goals, what are your key channels, where you engage customers, and then where are your real-world limitations. And so this is the demo system this week. This is the AI GTM strategist. Like I mentioned, it's asking for some inputs that are really simple, that are readily available to every team. And just to make it simple here, I've got a quick start so we can choose a sample company, pre-fill all this information, and then generate our plan. All right, and here are the results. So we've got our weekly plan. The output here is intentionally constrained. We only have maybe 5 to 8 initiatives maximum. Everything else is just noise and too much to focus on in a given week. Couple of things to highlight here. We've got weekly focus. This is intended to answer the hardest question for a lot of teams, which is what matters most this particular week. Then we have prioritized initiatives. Each initiative has rationale, concrete steps, has estimated impact and a metric. The rationale here, I think, is really important to understand the reasoning behind this as an initiative. So in this case, you can see this one, enhance consultant onboarding experience. Improving the onboarding flow can directly influence the number of consultants completing their profiles, which in turn makes the platform more appealing to the demand side. So we've got a number of those. And then the third thing I wanted to highlight here is this section of what not to do this week. Strategy is really about what you say no to, and this really forces explicit trade-offs and makes it really concrete in terms of these are the things you shouldn't be doing this week in favor of the things that are prioritized. And then I really like this last section, which is my bet. So this is intended to force a point of view. It's really answering the question of like, if this were my company, here's the single bet that I would make right now. Okay, and then the final thing I wanted to show here is just I wanted to talk a little bit about system design because I think this is important. Just a quick look under the hood. Um, just a couple things to call out, I think, in terms of the code and the system design. The first is this is not a chat UI. This is really structured decision output. And so in this case, the model returns strict JSON, which is validated by schema. And the prompts that I showed you encode GTM judgment, not just instructions. And then the constraints here are really first class inputs into the system. Um, One of I think the key point to make here is that a lot of AI tools fail because they assume perfect data. This one, I think, in the demo, I tried to assume reality. What is the current state for most teams in terms of what they're trying to do each week, some of the challenges they have, some of the um, limitations they have in terms of the availability of data, time constraints, that type of thing. So I think this one hopefully assumes reality for most teams. And then finally, just to close things out, I think some of the key takeaways from this week, at least for me, was that um, AI's real power and some of the real leverage that we have with AI when we apply it to go to market, to marketing, it's not just about content generation. Um, some of the real power here, I think, is using AI for help with prioritization, with judgment, with trade-offs, with making good decisions quickly, with the real-world constraints that most teams face. And I think this hopefully is an example of what AI looks like when it's built for how teams and leaders actually work and what the reality is for them. Um, Thanks again, as always, for listening. Appreciate it. Would love your thoughts and feedback if you happen to want to share. And I hope you have a wonderful weekend. Thank you.